It is going to be a very exciting Premier League game week, and we have a lot of good fixtures starting from Spurs versus Man United. And obviously, this is one of those videos where I try to predict and mostly get everything wrong. Last weekend, if you see, I got the first five, six fixtures right, and then I got every other fixtures wrong. Rest of the four were all wrong. I was sort of like, oh my god, nobody is better at this than me. But then reality hit. Let's see what happens this time. Spurs versus Manchester United. Spurs at home. Let me once confirm. I think I have written it right. I don't remember everything. Yeah, Tottenham at home versus Manchester United. I feel like Tottenham lack goals. Manchester United are in a good moment. They are scoring goals, but they can also concede in counter attacks. So this, I don't know. I feel like Manchester United are in a good moment and they're going to win this game. I feel like Tottenham are not as good as everyone, like, and they're not as good as their league position right now. I feel like they are worse, but I can also see them scoring goals. This one is one of those classic 2-2 draws. I feel like this is one of those 2-2 draws where both just take 2 points off each other, and then they are in the mid-table positions and battling against each other. So two pretty mid-table-ish clubs against each other right now. Everton versus Fulham, I felt like this is also such a difficult one to predict because Everton are at home. Fulham are not as good away from home as they are at home. But I think Fulham are overall a better team than Everton. So I don't know actually who is going to win this game, but I feel like um, I genuinely feel like this is also a draw. I feel like when you have some confusion that okay, Everton, you don't rate Everton as highly as you rate Fulham, but Fulham are not that good away from home, so it is more likely to be a game where Fulham go in front and then Everton come back eventually and it ends in a draw. 1-1, I feel like this would be 1-1. Sunderland versus Arsenal. I'll go very quickly. I think Arsenal will win again, and this could be a classic 2-0 performance from Arsenal. No real threats. I feel Sunderland are not that big a threat for Arsenal at this moment of time. They are doing pretty well, but they are also in the league table. They are also way ahead of where they should be right now. Chelsea versus Wolves. Chelsea should really just do their job in this game. This should also be a 3-1. Wolves will concede goals, and I feel like Enzo Fernandez can score a goal. He should score a goal because he is in my FPL team, so I really want him to score a goal. That is why I'm saying it. But yeah, you could see a few goals in this game. Crystal Palace versus Brighton, another good game. This is a derby. This is, I don't know what derby it is called, but it is obviously a derby, and mostly if you see, this is very charged game. And I feel like this could, huh, I don't know. Crystal Palace are a really good team. Like when they played against us, I am an Arsenal fan, obviously. So they were pretty good against us, and the way they have control of the whole game. But then they lost in the Europa League against some random team. So anything can happen. You never know. And they have played in the midweek. I feel like in such a highly charged game, you could see a shock here. Crystal Palace can get their second defeat of the season, conceding a goal here. So you can see a bit of an upset here. Going forward, Aston Villa versus Bournemouth, another tough. There are so many good games in this game week. Look at this. This is pretty evenly matched. This is evenly matched. This is also not the easiest. Sunderland away for league leaders. That is also not easy. Chelsea versus Wolves, you can say, is one of those fixtures where you know the result before the game has started. Unless obviously Chelsea drew to Karabakh, so that can also be interesting. Any game Chelsea plays is interesting. Crystal Palace vs Brighton is charged game where it is a derby basically. So, and Crystal Palace are playing three games in a week, so that also balances a few things. Even though Crystal Palace right now look better than Brighton, but these things can balance out. And I feel like Brighton will win. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth as well. Both have lost to City and Liverpool, which shouldn't shock you. But the fact that they lost because they both play their own game is the good thing. And I feel like if they play their own game, I feel like Bournemouth will also sort of be a little lower than where they are right now. They are also a little higher than how good they are. They lost so many players. They are supposed to crumble at some point of time in the season. I feel like this is that time. They play a really good football. Aston Villa also plays decent football, so this will also be a very fun game to watch. Even Brentford versus Newcastle would be a very fun game to watch because of the physicality side of it. How Newcastle deal with the physicality and counter-attacking play from Brentford, and how solid is Brentford defense that if they can keep out Waltamard, Murphy, Gordon, and anyone from the bench, Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, etc. So I feel like Newcastle should win this. I feel like they should keep a clean sheet in this game. This could be a narrow win for Newcastle. Nottingham Forest versus Leeds. I feel like Nottingham Forest need to show up right now. They need to start doing better than what they are doing right now. And Nuno has gotten decent amount of time, not that much. Still, he can do a lot better, but he has got decent amount of time, and I feel like you would expect him to come up with some plan against Leeds, and Leeds are not that good away from home. This should be a 2-1 new Nottingham Forest win. Manchester City versus Liverpool. This is the game of the game week, and I feel like both teams rely on their attacks. Both teams have hot and cold midfield. Sometimes their midfield is doing really well. Sometimes their midfield is like actually losing them their games. Physicality won't be a problem for both sides unless it is obviously about Liverpool centre backs versus Haaland. That would be a physical battle, but all around the pitch, you will much likely see evenly matched game. Liverpool will have counter-attacking chances unless Pep Guardiola again adapts to his old method against Arsenal. Not his old method, his new method that he has started building low blocks and defending against teams he thinks like they cannot compete when it comes to their attack. So that also you can see. And I feel like I have missed one game because I don't see West Ham. Yeah, I have missed the West Ham game. West Ham versus Burnley. I feel like I was really impressed with what I saw in the West Ham game last game week, and they are at home, so they should win this. And every prediction is not that convincing. I don't think you will see too many games in this game week that there will be a hammering. All the teams are evenly matched. Manchester City versus Liverpool, I was talking about, and I feel like Erling Haaland right now is in such good form, and Liverpool are known to give chances away. I genuinely feel like Manchester City should be the favorites in this game. And Pep Guardiola early on last season, if you would have asked me, he would have given the game in the hands of Liverpool. But right now, he is much more, he's sort of wary of the limitations his team has. So he will look forward, he will look to uh, hide his team's weaknesses, and he could form a low block, mid block as well, and counter with Haaland with whatever runners he has, Foden, Doku, and Rangers coming from midfield arriving in the box. And Liverpool will have issues when getting counter attacks because even Robertson is playing 3 games a game week. Right back is very defensive, so he does not apply enough pressure on the position that they are when they attack. Like obviously, Connor Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk have a huge responsibility by tackling with the counter attacks. But when Conor Bradley is up the pitch, he would not. He would also find it difficult to defend those counter attacks. And Van Dijk and Konate have not been having the best season right now. You could say Van Dijk needed Robertson, but let's see what happens. And I don't. I feel like. There is a change in momentum, obviously, for Liverpool. But as an Arsenal fan, I would much rather City win than Liverpool because I don't want Liverpool to be anywhere close enough because the attack they have, they can go on a run and they can win against any team in the league. So that would be an issue for me. So I would want much rather prefer City to win, but a draw would be fine as well. I feel like this could be a draw, but I should edge towards a Manchester City win. I feel like I generally see Haaland doing pretty well against them. Midfield battle, who will win? I think defensively more solid Liverpool is there because Gravenberch is basically better than Nico Gonzalez. That is all that logic needs. McAllister versus Rangers or Bernardo Silva. Does Bernardo Silva still have that flair in him that he used to have in those Manchester City versus Liverpool games? We'll have to see a lot of things here. Doku versus Bradley will be a tough battle, and then Salah versus Nico O'Reilly is also a pretty good battle to watch out. So, a lot of good battles to watch out for, but let's see what happens. I feel like this could be a 3-2 exciting game. It would be one for the ages, and it would be good way to go to international break watching this game. So yeah, let's see what happens, and I'll see you when all my predictions go right. Bye.